That was a wonderfully eloquent toast. Well done. They do say that a man, he's only truly eloquent if he can describe Dolly Parton without using his hands. Alan's a very funny guy and everybody gets his humour. Not everybody gets my humour. I did a stand-up recently for the Red Arrows and it just... right over the head. Even 250 years after the birth of Robert Burns, is a fine example. He is a fine example of what the ladies look for in a man. Many of his characteristics and his habits are shared by the fine specimens I see in front of me here, the golfers at Renfrew Golf Club. The obvious similarity is that Robbie was a farmer, spent most of his days ploughing up the earth. I've seen these guys out here, they call it golf. Another passion would of course be the demon drink. Burns wrote, "The cock may craw, the day may daw, but I will taste the barley brie." Ah, lager. I was talking to Kenny Beacom earlier on and he says he's really cut down in lager since 2015. Well, it's only 22.45, so the night's young. All the men here at Renfrew have a twinkle in their eye, but to say Robbie Burns had a way with the lassies would be somewhat of an understatement. He fathered 11 children for 5 women in 13 years, and I believe that's an Ayrshire course record. His wife, Jean, even gave birth on the day of Robbie's funeral, which she attended, once again demonstrating the multitasking abilities of female of the species. Last year I did the toast to the lassies, and I got a little bit of stick about it because I was said to be unkind about my wife. Nothing could have been further from my mind. Me and Elaine have had 14 wonderful years of happy marriage. Mind you, we've been married for 35. And I see some people out here, I see Robert Strong here as well, and I know he's lucky to be here tonight because he had a right barney with his wife today. Rita was saying to him that he never listens to some other bits and pieces. To be honest, he wasn't listening. But it's good to see him here today. In January it can be quite depressing. The weather's been poor, and my wife seems very depressed. She keeps standing by the window staring. If it continues, I'm going to have to let her in. She's had enough of me, so she's taken up a new hobby. She's taken up beekeeping. So I bought her 3 dozen or so for her Christmas, and I really can't wait to go home tonight till she gets her 36 bees out. But it's not just me who's confrontation with their wives. A good friend of mine who used to be constantly at odds with his first wife. And I remember him telling me that she said to him, she had a strange dream last night. She dreamt that she was at a penis auction. And long penises were getting sold for £100 and thick penises were getting sold for £500. And he said to her, "What would mine go for?" And the wife replied, "They were giving yours away for free." Oh, he was angry. He said, "I had a dream last night. I was at an auction where they were selling vaginas. And they were selling vaginas for £100 and they were selling tight vaginas for £500. And his ex-wife said to him, "What about mine?" He says, "That's where they were holding the auction." Is it warm in here? I know, I can feel it. I've got some good family news. So I have an uncle who's 97 years old and he's just announced that he's engaged to be married to a 28-year-old model. And he was speaking to a doctor friend who advised him that all the vigour and excitement of energy during sex could be fatal. And he said, "Fuck it, if she dies, she dies." So my wife, she's always self-diagnosed, and I don't know about you, but as soon as something's wrong with my wife, she's on the internet looking up Google or whatever. This morning she was rubbing her eyes, so I told her to look up conjunctivitis.com. I says, "That's a site for sore eyes." I still told it. It reminds me of the story of a man walks into the wife's bedroom and he's got a sheep under his arm. He said, "This is the pig I sleep with when you've got a headache." And the wife says, "That's not a pig, it's a sheep." He He says, I was talking to the sheep. Somebody just got in to get that penny drop there. Today's been an interesting day. I was at the dentist this morning. I said to him, it's an extraction today. I don't want any pain relief, no gas, no jag, no pain relief. Just get in there and yank it out. The dentist said, okay, I can do that. I says, Elaine, they're ready for you now.
Elaine, they're ready for you.
I love listening to the radio, and I was listening to the radio today, and there was a wee Renfrew Lassie on the programme. It was Radio 5 Live, and they had a programme on incontinence. And the presenter said to her, where are you ringing from? She said, the waist down. But it's quite rough around here, Kirtland. I hope it's nobody for Kirtland you can. Oh, a few then, good. And the teacher was talking to some of the little darlings in her care, and he said to one of the primary 4 children, what's 9 plus 7 plus 6? The wee girl said, bust. And I was driving in today earlier on, we were sitting up in the hall, and I saw a banner. And you know the banners got up, happy birthday or getting married. I saw a banner up in the street in Kirtland that said, happy 30th birthday, Gran. So, I heard the story as well about an elderly man who had died. And his wife was talking to the granddaughter and said he'd suffered a heart attack while they were making love. And the granddaughter was a little bit upset that her gran and her grandpa were still having sex at that age in life. And the gran said, well, it was only once a week, on a Sunday. He used to love it to the rhythm of the church bells. The bells were going, he was in and out, in and out. He said he'd still be alive today if that ice cream van hadn't turned up. It's not been a great day today. A pile of books fell on my head this morning. I've only got myself to blame. It'll be good. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas. I can't believe 4 weeks ago, Christmas, it's come and gone. 4 weeks ago, my wife was standing under the mistletoe waiting for a kiss. She's still there if anybody's interested. She did say to me at the time, she says, why wouldn't you kiss me under the mistletoe? I said, I wouldn't kiss you under anaesthetic. Oh, I haven't trouble. And I've scored out this don't get a hard-on joke. Thanks, Alan. And other people are having a bad day as well. I mean, Robert, sorry, Miller. Miller, not a great day for Miller. One of my good friends, Miller, there. He this morning, unfortunately, knocked down a poor old lady. Well, I say she was poor. Much did you get out of her purse? And I was hearing today that the inventor of inappropriate innuendo jokes died suddenly yesterday. His wife's taking it very hard. That's too highbrow for this. It's called jokes all the way, isn't it? Me and my wife, we go back to my wife here again, and me and my wife, we love dancing. We went to the disco the other night, and there was a guy in the dance floor. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. He was dancing like a king. He was moonwalking, he was break dancing, he was doing head spins, all the works. My wife, I said to her, I says, that guy is the best dancer I've ever seen. She said, do you know that 35 years ago that man asked me to marry him? And I said, no. I said, it looks as though he's still celebrating. And I was up seeing my grandpa, he's 97, he's up in the hospital, and he was telling me that the nurses are giving him half a Viagra in the morning and half a Viagra at night. I said, surely not, he's 97-year-old, why is it doing that? He says, well, during the day it stops him pissing in his slippers, and at night it stops him rolling out of bed. So, somebody alluded to it earlier on that I had a new girlfriend. Well, I met this girl, she's actually an adult movie star. Porn star. I asked her out and she said to me, yes, I'll go out with you. I says, well, when do you want to go out? She says, well, I'm working Tuesday and Wednesday. How about Thursday? I says, how about Monday? Oh dear. So, on behalf of the lasses, there's some advice. Beware of the symptoms of love. The quickening of the pulse, the shortness of breath, the slight reddening of the cheeks are exactly the same symptoms as carbon monoxide poisoning. So if you think you're falling in love, make sure you check the boiler first. I heard a story about a man, his wife had been in a car accident and she was in a coma. I can absolutely guarantee everybody thinks they know the end of this joke until they get the end of this joke, and I bet you they don't. His wife was in a coma and he's been going up to see her faithfully for 6 months. And the doctor said to them, today while we were giving your wife a bed bath, we noticed she had a slight reaction when we were touching her genital area. Would you like to try and explore that area, see if it would help her recover? So he went in. And he started massaging her down below. I don't want to put too fine a point on it. And she started panting a wee bit. And then he started a wee bit more, and she started panting another wee bit. And he thought, I know what she likes. I'm going in. And he went in. Everybody know what I'm talking about. And he went in. And as the woman was coming to a climax, she woke up. Remarkable. The doctor came in. The woman's sitting up having a cup of tea in bed. And the man's sitting crying in the corner. He says, you've just brought your wife back to life. She was in a coma. Why are you crying? He said, I could have saved my granny. I told you you never heard it. I'm going to close with a short verse from the lasses to the laddies. I can't fully comprehend, the speech is almost to an end. That 5 minutes went guy fast, and over many ports we blast. But one good thing gives me cheer, it's someone else's turn next year. And as the night is drawing in, let's take our glasses to our chin, and toast us to the lasses dear, good health and happiness till next year. The lasses.
Well done, David. Very good.
That's it.